Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Aaron's Book Club. I have a book review to do today. It's a brand new author and a book of a genre that I don't often read, but I have some stuff to say about it. So, the book I have to review today is Purgatory Road by Samuel Parker. And I guess this is an advanced reader's copy now. I got this a long time ago, and of course, I waited till now to read it. Let me read the back of it just so you have an idea of what we're getting into. Also, this will not be spoiler free, so if you want to read it, come back, because I will be getting into spoils. So, when a day trip out of Las Vegas with his wife takes a turn for the worse, Jack is sure that he has the ability to get them home. But he drove into something far beyond reason. Rescue comes in the form of a desert hermit. But hope fades as the couple comes to the realization that the nomad has no intention of letting them leave. A chance encounter with a kidnapped runaway and her crazed abductor leads them all further into the wilderness and closer to the cold brutality that isolation brings. At the edge of his sanity, Jack begins to learn that playing by another's rules may be the only way to survive. In a voice that is hypnotizing as a desert mirage, debut novelist Samuel Parker entices readers down a dangerous road where forces of good and evil are as crushing as Mojave heat. This is suspense in its purest, most unfiltered form. Now, yes, I will agree with that. The suspense is done really well. I read this book and I was disturbed. There was very little blood, gore, guts, but I was very disturbed, on edge, didn't sleep right, had weird dreams. It was well written that way. The main character, Jack, I hated him. I hated him so much. He was selfish, self centered. The world revolved around him and only what he wanted. And his wife, I don't know. In the end, I liked her a bit more, but at the beginning, I didn't like her either because she was just, yeah, whatever you want. I'll put my whole world on hold for you because you're amazing, yada, yada, yada. And I think we're meant to feel sorry for her because she's sacrificing so much for him. But like she's sacrificing her whole life for him and he's giving nothing in return. At one point, that becomes your choice. At that point, you need to move on. So I felt better about her near the end when she learned to stand up on her two feet. But other than that, both characters were not that likable. The kidnapped girl was a bit more likable, but the theme of the book, which you were nailed on the head over again and again and again, which I kind of disliked because near the end it was like, I get it. I get what you're trying to portray. I get what you're trying the reader to understand. I get it. Stop. We can figure it out on our own because the whole premise is we have an entity of good mostly and an entity of evil, and these two entities are using us mere mortals to play a game of chess, and they both pick a champion of sorts and pit them against each other and see who wins. And it's an old trope, and it was a well done trope. And in the end, the big battle in the end was a great battle. And I have to say, the death of the champion for the evil, with him being chained up to the hospital bed, and a tarantula climbs down his throat and chokes him. That is one of the best deaths I have ever read about. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I guess that tells you a lot about me. Oh well, really, really enjoyed that. And the end was a bit scrubbed clean. We got to learn how everybody recovered after all of this and what everybody did, and all sunshine and roses and everything else. And Jack, who was super unlikable all of a sudden after this, was a caring, kind, considerate guy who put everybody else first, which Boulder Dash is what I say to that. But it was believable, it was written well, and it was a good ending. And then at the back of the book, there's a teaser for a sequel for book 2. There doesn't need to be a book 2. You're taking the sheriff or the cop who is at most a side character, an ends to a means to figure out who did this crime. just kind of a hanging on throughout the entire story, and now he's going to drive in and make contact with this good entity, where it should have been left. It should have been done. It should have been over. The book was well done. The book was good. We don't need a sequel. We don't need a sequel. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to order the sequel, because this was a good book on its own, and it was a good book on a standalone, even though the ending was pretty squeaky clean and nice and good. But everything that needed to be answered was answered, and you don't need to just find out every detail about everything. The mystery of these two entities can stay a mystery. We don't need a sequel. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it was so good on its own, and right up until the end, this was going to be one of my books of the year, which was really strange, because again, it's totally outside of my genre subtype that I like. But we don't need a sequel. It was great on its own. Write another book about something else, but don't do a sequel to this, because this didn't need it, and you're going to lessen this by writing a sequel. So here's the deal. Really liked the book, enjoyed the book. The ending destroyed it for me. I don't know. I guess that's all I've got to say about it. It was an entertaining read. I just wish it ended better, and I wish there was no sequel. But I will let you know when I have another book read. Thanks, guys.